sorry about everything that happened just now. Were you frightened?
Of course! Who wouldn't be scared after witnessing an accident like that?
Yeah, I'm a little shaken up myself. How could this happen? And poor Cal. I know you already claimed that you would defend me, but now it's just us talking. Tell me, do you think I could possibly be the murderer?
No. It's hard to say.
Good to hear. Thank you so much for trusting me. I'm sure everyone sees me as the biggest suspect at this point. But, if you ask me, the whole thing is mysteries layered upon mysteries, such that all that's left is confusion. I don't know whether what happened there on the stage was purely an accident or not, and I don't know why poor Cal was in the box. As for how that girl chosen from the audience could suddenly disappear, I'm afraid I don't have any answers either. If someone tampered with my performance, then we need to figure out what they did. Even a skilled and knowledgeable magician like myself couldn't pull all that off in just 1 minute.
I mean, yes, it's very strange, and it's very strange, but there's no denying what happened. I mean, the only other suspect would be the audience member that you selected, right? Where'd she go?
Which is precisely why we need to investigate. As this book says, the impossible could not have happened. Whatever happened must have been that which is possible.
No. Where did you get those glasses? Paimon should not be cooking. She read one Sherlock Holmes book and is like, I'm literally him.
Paimon bought them when we were reading at the bookshop in the city earlier. Pretty cool, huh?
No.
Don't worry, Paimon used her own savings to buy them. It wasn't from our travel fund.
Wait, you have money?
I think they look cute on you, Paimon.
Yeah, I do too.
You have good taste, Lynette.
That's the right attitude. Feeling depressed isn't going to help me now. I need to get back to my normal self. But with the guards watching our every move, it's going to be especially difficult for Lynette and I to prove our own innocence.
That's why I'm here.
Good thing you agreed to be our attorneys. Thanks for that. We'll be counting on you.
Yeah,
Yes, thank you so much.
I won't let you down. I'm used to this sort of thing. Are you, though? I don't remember this happening in the other Archon quests.
Yeah, just leave it to us. Oh, since we're going to start investigating, Paimon has a question first. Where did Lynette go during the performance?
Ah, well, I'm afraid that would involve some of our essential trade secrets as magicians.
The secrets behind our magic are past saving, Linny.
I suppose you're right. The truth behind our tricks is going to be important evidence that will be weighted during the trial.
Wow, it's already better than Ace
It is
Attorney.
truly a pity. As a magician, our magic show is a work of art. We've poured countless hours and spared no effort in perfecting it. But if revealing our secrets will help you uncover the truth behind what happened, then it will be well worth it. We should go somewhere else if we're going to discuss our magic tricks. We'll go speak with the guards, and in the meantime, you can go investigate the stage and the seating areas.
Let's go have a look while the investigation teams are still here. Detective Paimon is on the case.
She's gonna be wearing that the whole time, is she?
Hello, officer. How's the investigation going?
We're Linnea and Lynette's attorneys.
Ah, I see. You must be the traveler that Lady Farina mentioned. Listen, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I'd avoid getting mixed up in this whirlpool of a mess if I were you.
Yeah, I wish I could too.
What do you mean?
Come with me and you'll see. The deceased is one of Linny's assistants named Cal. Even though he hadn't joined the troupe long, he was hardworking and everyone generally liked him. The assistants are usually in charge of setting up and inspecting the props, as well as assisting with the show and keeping the crowd engaged. As you probably saw when you were in the audience, the water tank suddenly fell and smashed the box with Cowl inside it.
But why was Cal inside? Wasn't the girl supposed to be in there?
This is the real mystery. We've already searched the scene and were unable to find any traces of the girl. However, if you look carefully, the box was positioned directly under the water tank. The ropes holding the tank were then burned by the pyrotechnics on stage, causing them to snap. All these factors lining up so perfectly makes it hard to see this as a mere accident. If anything, the more logical explanation is that the whole incident was intentionally planned, and Linny is the most likely person to have access to all these areas.
But he doesn't have a motive.
Are you both good friends of his?
No, we just met him yesterday.
I can't say we're good friends, but we've known each other for a little while.
It's been one day.
So in just a short time, he was not only able to win your trust, but even convince you to act as his attorneys. I know there's no such thing as magic. The real trick of a magician is holding the audience in the palm of their hand.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of cases, and I can tell you that people are the least reliable kind of evidence.
Yeah. But that's not always true. People can also be the most reliable evidence.
Sorry, I tend to be pretty straightforward. Just know that I'm warning you for your own good. Anyway, you may investigate the scene of the crime yourselves if you're curious. Who knows, maybe you'll be able to come up with some new evidence.
Yeah, well, I've played Ace Attorney I've played the Ace Attorney games. And Danganronpa. So, I think I know a thing or two about attorneying. Guards investigation report. The investigation from the guards incident that the fireworks launched at the tail end of the magic performance set the rope dangling the water tank alight, causing the tank to fall and kill Cowl, who was within it. It seems evident that Lenny is the likeliest user of the prop to commit a crime. However, the reason for the victim being Cowl and the reason for the chosen lady's disappearance remains mysterious. The deceased's identity. The deceased is one of Lenny's assistants, named Cowl. He was well trusted by all his colleagues. His job was setting up and inspecting the props, as well as assisting with the show and keeping the crowd engaged. This is where the magic box was struck. If Cal weren't inside the box at that moment, he might have dodged the falling water tank. Investigate the burnt
This is the
rope.
rope that broke and caused the water tank to fall. The rope looks pretty durable. How can it be burned through so quickly by fireworks?
So either Linny didn't recognize this was a safety concern, or...
Why are you suddenly so serious, Traveler?
I'm just looking for where the rope snapped.
Whoa. Look! This bit is made from different material. Most of it was burned away, but there's still a little bit of it left.
It seems to be flammable, like a type of flash cotton.
Huh. So if a rope meant to hold something was made with that kind of material in it, then that means... Wait, why don't you write all this down? Let's take notes.
Yeah, we've got a case record. Special rope. This rope was used to suspend the water tank. It suddenly broke when the fireworks were being launched on stage. The investigation has shown the location where the rope snapped was made of flammable material. The broken magic box was left on the scene after the guards completed their investigation. Looking at it now, the water tank must have struck it really hard.
The investigation team has some new findings. Turns out there's an issue with the random number selector after all.
See, I told you. What if the machine picked some big guy's seat? You think the murderer would have still made his move then?
Sorry to interrupt, but we're helping Linny and Lynette with their side of the investigation. What were you saying about the number selector? There's something wrong with it?
You're trying to help them? That'll be a tall order.
Linny used the machine to pick a random member of the audience during his performance, right? The lucky girl that later disappeared. Well, we thought there might be a serious problem with the machine, so we had it taken away for further inspection.
It turns out that the seat number it picked wasn't random at all. The machine picks that same number every time. I'm sure you already know that you have to make a reservation in advance to get a seat, regardless of whether it's a trial or some performance. In other words, Linny knew who would be sitting where from the very beginning.
That much checks out. Linny reserved our seats for us, too.
Bet you see why I was saying it'd be tough to make a case for Linny.
Thanks. Sorry to bother you.
Even though it's bad for Linny's case, Paimon had better write it down.
This device was used during Linny's magic performance to choose a lucky member of the audience. However, the guards have found that it will generate the exact same number no matter what. Clearly, someone has tampered with it.
Hello there. What are you investigating?
Oh, this location has also been cordoned off because the magic troupe members are currently considered prime suspects. The investigation team is still collecting evidence. The seats were all booked in advance, so we were able to deduce the missing woman's identity by checking the guest list.
Could you tell us who she was? Who she is? We're Linny and Lynette's attorneys.
Sure, it's not like this is confidential information. We will publish it later anyway when we petition the public to help us find the missing person. Her name is Halsey. She's a painter from Fontaine who's made a bit of a name for herself. Apparently, she wasn't a regular at the Opera House, but she'd been feeling some pressure with her work lately, which made her decide to come see the magic show. The magic troupe members all claim not to know her. We have looked into her social connections. It seems that she has no personal grievances or conflicts of interest with the suspect. Simply put, she wasn't related to the magic troupe at all, which matches the features of the previous serial disappearances.
Were the victims of previous cases also chosen at random?
That's how it seems to us, in any case. Apart from the fact that they were all young women of around the same age range, there really weren't any other connections between them.
Okay then.
Thanks for letting us know all this.
No need to be so formal. If you do happen to see the missing girl, please be sure to contact us. It is of utmost importance that we get to the bottom of these disappearances.
Information about the missing lady's identity. Halsey is the missing person. She's a famous painter and came to watch the magic show in order to take a break from her own creative work. She isn't known for have been entangled in quarrels with any of the members of Linny's magic troupe. It looks like an ordinary box, but Linny somehow... Oh, wait, I need to... but Linny somehow moved instantly from the stage to being inside of it. How did he do it?
I see that you're investigating the area.
Esseldor, however
Well,
you
it
say
just so happens that I'm interested too. If you find any new and interesting leads, be sure to share them with me, alright?
We don't have
Sure.
too many thoughts yet.
Then why don't I tell you my hypothesis first? The way I see it. And I'll start it with that loud thud.
Yeah.
Thud? Oh, you mean the sound that happened during the countdown?
Yes, exactly. It wasn't terribly loud, but I suspect that most people heard it. It's just that everyone was awaiting the results of Linny's trick with bated breath, so no one paid it much mind. But now that the incident has happened, the thud has become an important clue.
That makes sense. So, what do you make of
I'm of the opinion that it may have been the sound of Linny's accomplice. Lynette, perhaps. Jumping atop the water tank or something like that. And when the pyrotechnics went off, she cut the rope, sending the water tank crashing down.
But wasn't the noise we heard too loud for that?
Perhaps the balance wasn't right, leading to a particularly rough landing.
Then when the water tanker started to swing a bit in that case?
Oh, that's true. I suppose I must reconsider.
Yeah, I'm the lawyer here,
That does remind Paimon
so I
What
know
was with
everything.
that sound?
Strange sound during the magic show. During the switching performance, there was an audible thud. More like an audible thud. That many audience members heard.
Hey, you! Yes, both of you! Over here!
Uh,
I've been keeping an eye on you for a while.
oh hell no, it's the Mafia.
Huh? You mean us?
That's right. If I'm not mistaken, you're also among those who wish to cut down the thorns and pursue the truth. No? And by the looks of it, you're not from Fontaine.
Well,
I know what
you're
gave it
more
away.
about that one, but who are you?
Have you never heard of the Spina di Rosula? From mediating disputes and providing protection to solving conundrums, you name it, Spina di Rosula does it. And I, Navia, have the honor of being its renowned president.
Cool. Man, she cute.
Though those who play by our rules call me boss.
I'm Silver, her attendant. Pleased to meet you.
And I'm Melus. Demoiselle's various daily needs and affairs are under my purview.
Huh? Boss? Demoiselle? What gives with the names?
Well, I am the second generation president. Malus and the others are still used to my previous title.
My apologies, Demoiselle. Should you prefer, boss, I will endeavor to use that instead.
No need. You don't have to call me boss. Just Navia is fine.
Okay, if you say so. Not that we're members of Spina di Rosula anyway.
All merely trifling details. Never mind. Now, back to the situation at hand.
So you want to investigate as well?
That's right. I've always kept an eye on the serial disappearance cases. My interest stems from a matter back from my father's time.
Well, I
Judging
mean,
from the look of things, I find
you're
Lily
probably around
unlikely
the age
mastermind.
range.
Really? We think so too. That's why we're looking for clues now. But how did you come to that conclusion?
Intuition, naturally. My unparalleled intuition.
Okay. Is that why you've got a geovision?
Farina sure was quick to point the finger at Linny without any decisive evidence whatsoever, wasn't she?
She was... It was more like she was caught up in the moment.
But that's not uncommon for her. If you remember, the justice had to interrupt her and ask if she was pressing charges just to keep her from getting carried away. Anyway, a trial begins the moment someone levels charges. And, of course, there was no way Farina was going to back down in that situation.
Sounds more like you just don't trust the Hydro Archon.
What's there to trust?
Well, what's your opinion? I must admit that she can be interesting at times, but liking her doesn't mean that I'll blindly agree with her.
Well, when you put it like that... Yeah, I feel the same way.
All right, I've answered your question. Now, it's time you answer mine.
No.
Wait a minute. Did that answer count?
Well, I say it does. But don't worry, you won't hear any pointless questions from me. In your opinion, do you think it's right to treat a trial like it's an opera?
No. Huh?
Well?
Not always.
And why would that be?
Doing so makes it easy for the truth to fall by the wayside. Something serious like a trial shouldn't be treated like entertainment, while the first ones.
See, Silver and Maloose? I told you they'd be different.
Yeah, we're not from
Most
here.
astute of you, demoiselle. I too think that the traveler's response was most excellent. No matter how wonderful the script or how fervent the audience's expectations may be, the trials that go on stage here must be based in fact.
Must be
And if
based.
that can be done, boss, then
All right, that's quite enough, Maloose. Anyway, I like your answer. You pass with flying colors.
Thanks.
Now, I need to make some preparations, following which our joint investigation shall commence. You two shall be my assistants.
Wait! Since when did we become assistants?
Oh, well, I can be the assistant, sure. Or your companion, if you like. I'm really not that fussy.
That's more like it.
I think you're missing the point, Paimon. It seems you have already agreed then.
far be it from me to brag, but I believe that Demoiselle's intuition will be instrumental in uncovering the truth.
I'm sure. She
You
knows
wish
more
to save
about
a
the
friend from
other
false
disappearances than we do.
accusations, and we wish to unravel the disappearances. In this sense, our goals are aligned.
You have a point. Huh. You're quite the talker, aren't you, mister? And what about you over there? What do you think? You seem like you've got something on your mind.
His head is empty.
I have nothing to add.
Oh, alrighty then.
We'll be making
Head
some
empty.
preparations first. Just be sure to let us know if they start revealing Linny's tricks. Thanks!
Thanks.
Sorry, but no one can freely enter or exit the Opera House at the moment. If you wish to leave, you must register your identity with us first.
No, we're not leaving. We're representing Linny and Lynette as attorneys, so we're investigating the case. Were you always guarding this entrance?
Yes, after the Chief Justice gave the order, everyone coming in or out must undergo a strict inspection. So, the missing girl couldn't have left from here, at least, not from that point on.
What about during the show?
I doubt there was much opportunity then, either.
How can you be so sure,
Well, because I was in charge of security near the entrance at that time. I couldn't see Linny's performance from here, which was quite a shame. Just my luck. But still, I did not abandon my post, and I stayed put no matter how loud the applause was. If someone had so much as even approached the door, I would have noticed it, let alone if they had tried to leave. We Melazines are good at that sort of thing, you know.
Yeah, I trust that.
It's safe to say the girl couldn't have left through here. Alright, thank you for your help. This will be useful info.
No one left the Opera House during the magic show, and after the incident happened, only those who had their identities cleared by the guards could leave.
Understood. Then I will be going with you. Just so you're aware, I will be monitoring your actions and making notes as necessary.
Very good. Thanks for being so agreeable. I'd pull a rose out of my hat as a gift for you if I could.
You may spare the pleasantries. I'm just doing my job.
Man, he's trying to riz her up.
You've arrived. Who's this?
This is Boss.
Me? I'm Spina di Rosula's guardian angel. If you've got a problem, I've got the firepower.
She is the Mafia.
Sorry, I got a little carried away there. Call me Navia. I'm a partner of theirs, and will be helping investigate this whole situation. And these are my companions. Would you mind if they join as well?
Fine by me.
Oh, new helpers? I would be most grateful.
Yeah, new helpers.
Well, let's just say we're tagging along. It's not every day you get to see the secrets behind magic performed on such a large scale.
I appreciate your kind interest. Come with me. We'll be heading below stage.
Huh? Below stage?
Yes, a world of secrets is hidden beneath this magic box, prepared specifically for this switcheroo trick. But before I reveal everything, you should have a look first. Notice anything strange here? I'm not trying to be dramatic. Remembering the details of a trick will help you understand the methods used to perform it more easily.
Huh. Weren't there balloons and other decorations here? Where did all that go?
Man, I was gonna say that.
Ah, good eye. That said, you're still far from discovering the answer.
The back of the door isn't the same.
The back? You mean the inside of the door? What's different about it? Paimon didn't notice anything.
Very good indeed. I thought you might not be able to catch that, given that you were sitting in the first row. The back of this door was patterned. Those patterns are now gone, replaced by a smooth wooden board.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you put 2 and 2 together, what do you get?
Wait, does that mean there's another box inside this one?
Exactly. All right, let's go. I'll tell you how it works as we head down.
Oh, so there was a passageway under the magic box!
This passage linked the 2 boxes together.
I knew you'd figure out most of it as soon as you saw this place. The 2 magic boxes are positioned right above the 2 entrances of the tunnel.
So that's how you did it!
Once the box was lowered, the trolley would store some energy through this device here, with which it would complete the rest of the steps. The audience member would only be able to feel some slight movements in the dark, and by the time she walked out, she would already be back on stage.
Then what about your side of the trick?
Right! You were talking that whole time, and you even came out for a moment near the end!
Ah, yes. A phonograph operated by Lynette was used to achieve that effect. My assistant and I had already scripted our conversation beforehand. When the countdown began, I had already gone to the opposite box via a tunnel using that ladder.
And what about Lynette? Where was she?
I was in the mezzanine space in the back of the box.
Oh, interesting!
That's how we were able to coordinate Linny's lines with the assistant. And, by the way, I was the one who walked out of the box at the end.
I mean, we are twins. All it takes is a change of clothes and no one can tell who's who. And that's my favorite part of this trick. Only Lynette and I can perform it.
So that's how it all worked! Wow! Every detail you revealed was more amazing than the last!
I can tell a lot of thought was put into this.
Lynette would briefly walk out of the box and then go back in, jumping into the tunnel and escaping before the box on the trolley could finish ascending. And then I walk out of the other box in the audience area, and the trick would be complete. The operative word here being would. But as you saw, Cal was in the box, not our audience member. She, on the other hand, mysteriously vanished.
We really don't know how that happened.
If not for that interlude, this would have been an astonishing trick. I probably never would have figured out how you pulled it off. And yet, to think that someone was able to use this magic trick to commit a crime. Could we have a look around? I think we can come up with some more leads.
This is the scene of the crime, so Linny and Lynette are not permitted to stay here. I'll escort them back up.
Yes, of course. No need to be so strict now.
Bro.
You won't disappear into thin air, you know.
Unless...
Thanks, everyone. We're counting on you.
The magic trick. Lenny gave a detailed account of how the magic trick was supposed to work. By using a box inside a box, the idea was for the box containing the audience member to be transported across via a tunnel underneath, and Lenny himself would also use this tunnel to get to the other side. Meanwhile, having changed her outfit, Lynette and her assistant would take charge of onstage interactions. Onstage magic box structure. Magic box on stage has an additional layer to its rear, in which Lynette in Lenny's clothes remained hidden. She would appear at the end of the magic trick and lead people to believe that Lenny had been able to instantly move to the box on the other side. Audience side magic box structure. The magic box at the center of the audience stands has two layers, and beneath it is an entrance to an underground tunnel. This is how the lucky audience member was meant to be to have been transported without the audience noticing. This should be the control device for the trolley. It seems to be able to operate automatically.
Huh. What's this?
It's like a grappling hook or something.
Looks like a hook tied to the end of a rope. Huh? There's all kinds of odds and ends here.
Lenny didn't mention this earlier.
Perhaps it was a prop for a different trick. But why would it have been left here?
Good question.
Whatever it is, let's make a note of it first.
Dropped hook rope. A rope that has fallen to the ground. A metal hook has been tied to one end of this rope. Its use is unclear.
The floor is wet. Please be careful not to slip.
Thank you.
Which, why would there be water here?
Maybe it was for a trick.
Oh, Paimon knows! It's one of those tricks where you pour water into a jug and then flip the jug over only for the water to disappear. And here's a broken vase. Huh. Did the trolley knock it down while moving?
That can't be. The trolley moves along tracks from start to finish. It couldn't have hit the vase at this distance.
Let's note this down too and think about it later.
Okay. Broken flower vase. There are many pieces of a broken flower vase on one side of the tunnel. All the water within has been spilled. Judging from the distance, it seems unlikely that it was knocked over by the trolley, meant to transport the magic box.
Oh, these are the clothes that the lady chosen from the audience was wearing, right? Her clothes are here, but she's nowhere to be found.
Lenny didn't mention the guest having a wardrobe change.
Right. And do you really need to do that if you're kidnapping them?
Bro, the kidnappings are just the people disappearing into the water.
Doesn't want to be a detective anymore.
Okay, so take the glasses off. The young lady's clothes. The clothes belonging to Halsey, the lady who went missing, were found in the tunnel. The reason for this remains unknown. I mean, a ladder is required in order to return to the magic box above. High precision is required to complete this magic show. The tracks are perfect for making this trolley stay on its designated course. All kinds of props and costumes are haphazardly stuffed inside. The trolley is crucial for transporting the magic box to the other side. The culprit must have used this to execute their plan. Among Us.
What is this place?
Looks like a vent.
It seems someone could fit through here.
Huh. Could this have been the suspect's escape route?
Alone, perhaps. But if they had to pull another person with them, the space would be too narrow.
But there are no other ways in or out of here.
Other than those that go through the magic boxes, and Linnea and Lynette, wait, and Linnea and Lynette were in the two magic boxes.
Oh, you're right. Let Paimon write that down.
Okay. Tunnel vent. The tunnel vent looks like it could allow one person passage. Barely, but leaving along with the missing ladies seems an unrealistic prospect.
Well, we've ascertained the state of the crime scene. Let's find a place to sort out our findings once Malus returns. Seems to me that there are several things that don't add up here.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle.
So, what did the guards say? Did the criminal escape through the vent?
They believe the odds of that are very low, since the vent leads to the Opera House's basement.
Why don't we
guards
go
checked
there?
the area carefully. No one left through the basement during the performance or after the incident, and no one was found hiding there.
So the tunnels become like a secret chamber then. You know, like the kind you usually see in novels.
It would seem so.
The plot thickens. Halsey's disappearance and Cowell's death are both quite inexplicable. No wonder Farina was so confident in her accusation. All the current evidence points toward Linny and Lynette.
Okay, well, I wouldn't say she was confident.
Unless we make some considerable progress.
Charges and then trial. So if the charges are upheld, they'll announce a sentence?
It's more like Farina made some accusations without any definitive evidence in front of a large crowd, so she couldn't really back out of pressing charges. So she made a spectacle out of it.
That's right. This is how a trial goes in the Opera House. During the proceedings, the Chief Justice and the Oratrice will hear statements from both sides.
The Oratrice will too?
That's right. This is how indemnitium is produced.
Oh,
The statements
right.
from both sides, the defenses from attorneys, witness testimonies, and even the audience's emotions will all be projected on the Oratrice. To put it simply, it's as if the Oratrice has its own will, and is a judge in its own right.
This also precludes any kind of favoritism on the part of the Chief Justice. And not that this has ever happened anyway.
Fascinating.
Once both sides have finished speaking, the Chief Justice will make his final decision. This, too, will be used by the Oratrice as a reference. Then, finally, the Oratrice will be consulted by officials. The result it returns is the will of justice itself.
Huh? So that machine is the one that actually decides? Paimon thought Neverlet called the shots.
In practice, there is very little difference. Both have always come to the same judgment, which is why people have great faith in the Chief Justice. Ah, yes, the guards also asked me to convey that none of us will be allowed to leave this place before the trial.
Oh.
Why?
Because we've chosen to act as the twins' proxies. That makes us persons related to the case.
Where are we gonna sleep?
They're
The trial is
concerned that we might
tomorrow,
be
isn't it?
colluding with outside parties, or that we might find outside help to disrupt the case. And even if that were not so, it could prove problematic if we happen to spread key information about the case ahead of time.
I'm ready to break out at any time.
What?
Whoa, there's no need for that. Paimon thinks they have a point. That said, are they providing food?
There, see, Paimon knows what's important.
I just hope you don't mind the lack of options. I'm afraid that catering to all tastes is not in the cards, nor is any guarantee of balanced nutrition.
Now's not the time to be picky. You hear that, Paimon?
In that case, let's just sort out our findings together here. Pity. I was hoping to take you to try some of Fontaine's famous desserts, too. I mean, what better way to properly think through our findings than over some tea and sweets?
Don't tempt her.
Breaking out suddenly doesn't seem like such a bad idea after all.
This is what I was worried about, Paimon.
Just kidding. Paimon will still do her best, even if there are no snacks.
I've got a bunch of food in my bag anyway.
What do you mean, no snacks? Of course we'll have snacks. If we cannot buy some, then we'll simply make some.
What?
Huh? Here? But how?
Good question.
Understood, Demoiselle. Everyone, please come with me.
Uh-huh. Where are these ingredients?
Wait, you're carrying a portable stove with you?
Yes, I must be prepared to meet the Demoiselle's baking needs whenever the fancy strikes her.
Oh.
I have eggs, sugar, and almonds at the ready.
Oh, okay.
Good work, you two. Then I'll get to it. Please sit tight for a moment. You'll get to taste my awesome snacks soon enough.
These three are quite the interesting group.
Must be the Spina di Rossola thing. Avia methodically handles the ingredients and pulls fresh macaroons out of... Oh! They look... They are big macaroons!
From the way you had these two guys carrying all that stuff around, Paimon thought you'd have them do more during the baking process.
Those macaroons are massive.
Egg whites, grinding almonds, everything.
Or the plates are just small.
And I was giving encouraging smiles.
That's not quite what Paimon meant, but okay. Well, it's more than what Paimon does when I cook. So...
Paimon was just thinking, aren't you worried about getting your fancy dress dirty beating egg whites and baking like this?
Well, I don't think it's carved in stone anywhere that fancy ladies can only read books, sip tea, ride horses, and play the piano. I just really enjoy making snacks. Don't underestimate beating egg whites, by the way. It's a real arm workout. You also need to beat them to just the right consistency, or your macarons will crack. Anyway,
well, that's if you want them to look good.
fresh out of the oven. There's 3 for each of us.
Only 3?
They are huge. I don't think that should be a complaint.
Too many sweet treats might send all that sugar to your head. You wouldn't be able to think clearly about the case on a sugar rush, would you?
Tea is ready to be served as well. This is Demoiselle's favorite, strong black tea with a floral fragrance that clears the mind and lifts the spirit. No need for concern. I'm merely doing as I should.
All right then. Down to business. As Paimon mentioned previously, the tunnel seems to be something of a secret chamber. However, we can assume that Linny and Lynette were not alone within it. Some criminal also occupied its sealed confines. The magician twins could have committed the crimes, of course, but they lack any logical motive.
Exactly! Why would they do such a thing right when everyone was watching?
So apart from the twins, we're left with 2 other people, the missing girl and the deceased.
The flower vase and the thud we heard during the performance could indicate some altercation between Halsey and the criminal in the tunnel, resulting in the shattering of the vase, the discarding of her clothes, and her abduction. Perhaps the criminal thought that since she was chosen from the crowd, she would be too easy to identify if she was still wearing the same clothes.
Paimon thinks that makes sense, but the real trouble is...
There's no evidence that this third person even exists.
True. None of the clues we found thus far support the existence of this third person. But the only people left to consider are both technically victims, whether it's the missing girl, Halsey, or poor Cowell.
Huh. Could Halsey have secretly made modifications to the magic props in order to murder Cowell before making her escape?
But she had no way of knowing how the magic trick worked.
That's right. And even if she had tampered with the setup, she would need to understand the entire trick to pull it off. Nor does she have any motive. The guard said that she has never had any dealings with the Magic Troop's members.
Were we not thorough enough in our search?
Well,
From the sound of things, this is turning into an impossible case.
yeah.
Your macarons are amazing though, Navia. They smell great! They're nice and crisp and super sweet.
And more important than the case.
They are my specialty after all. And I see you've already had 5 of them.
Well, there are 5 missing.
Oh, that can't be right. Paimon only counted 3, honest.
Well, that's not what
Please don't worry about
the
it.
missing 5
At my
say.
age, a few less sweets might actually be a good thing.
No. Being greedy is one thing, but Paimon knows how to count. Besides, Paimon knows that if she ate too many, then others wouldn't have enough.
It's fine. If you ate them, you ate them. Oh, it's fine. Everyone knows how much you love eating.
Wait, even you don't believe Paimon? How could you? If Paimon ate those 2 extra macarons, then may they turn into stone in her stomach.
All right, we get it. Well, I suppose one of us might have gotten too engrossed in our chat and eaten them by mistake. No big deal. Malus, set up the stove again if you would.
Huh? What are you doing?
Making sure everyone gets 3 macarons, of course.
Oh, there's really no need to do that.
Exactly. We don't want to trouble you.
As you wish, demoiselle.
Yeah, but she wants to bake them.
And I have the egg, sugar, and almonds.
They have all the ingredients ready.
Well, this really is your hobby, huh?
I better be able to make macaroons whenever we get her.
That's it for snack time. I'm going to have another look around the area. I don't know what we're looking for yet, but we've still got some time. As attorneys, I suggest the 2 of you think the case over again.
Okay.
It would be awkward if you got all tongue-tied on stage during the trial.
Oh, don't worry. Paimon's the only one at risk of doing that. I don't talk that much.
It was nothing. A small task for the Spina di Rosula. Silver, Malus, it's time to go. I'll be back if I find anything new.
Probability of third person being involved. Neither Cal nor Halsey had a motive, but after having talked to Navia, the likelihood of a third person being involved seemed very low too.
What do we do? The whole situation is so confusing.
I do have some thoughts, but let's take things step by step.
Good plan. Impossible things don't just happen. We'll get to the truth one way or another.
Just relax. Even if everyone else suspects Lenny and Lynette, at least we will be supporting them from the stands. Besides, I doubt Farina understands any more about what happened than we do.
Thanks, Navia. Well, we'll be going then.
Best of luck to you.